The rain slides through the city like broken glass, neon lights blurring into a stick of red and blue as Jungkook tightened his grip on the steering wheel. The enemy's car was right there. One more turn, one more push of the accelerator, and it will be over. Don't lose him, Jungkook muttered, voice cold, eyes sharper than the blade tuck beneath his suit. The Mafia King of Seoul didn't miss. He didn't hesitate. He didn't panic until what the a figure stumbled onto the road. Jungkook slammed the brake. The wall jolted violently. Tires screamed. His heart, his damn heart, skipped in terror as the body rolled onto the hood and collapsed onto the weight. The enemy car vanished. Jungkook didn't care. He was out of the car in seconds. The man lay there, soaked from rain, hair messy, lips parted in a soft gasp of pain. Blood trickled from his forehead, but his chest was rising, breath shaky yet alive. Jungkook dropped to his knees. Hey, hey, don't close your eyes, he said urgently, hands hovering, unsure way to touch. Fear clawed up his spine, an emotion he had buried long ago. The man slowly blinked up at him, eyes warm even through the pain. I'm sorry, he whispered. I wasn't looking. Jungkook swallowed. Those eyes, that voice, something cracked inside him. Within minutes, Jungkook was speeding toward the private hospital. He owned under the 10 different names. Dr. Ross, the injured man inside, while Jungkook stood frozen, rain dripping from his hair, hands trembling. The verdict came quickly. No severe injuries, mild contusion, he will heal. Jungkook exhaled for the first time in what felt like hours. When the man woke up later, Jungkook was sitting beside the bed. You are safe, Jungkook said quietly. The man studied him for a moment, then smiled, soft, trusting, devastating. I'm Kim Taehyung. The name echoed in Jungkook's chest like a bow. Jungkook cleared his throat. You can stay at my place until you recover. Taehyung blinked. Your place. I insist. That was how it began. Taehyung moved into Jungkook mansion under the excuse of care. Jungkook personally checked his medicine, cooked meals he never let anyone taste, stay up late just to make sure Taehyung slept peacefully. The Mafia King, cold, ruthless, fair, softened without realizing it, and Taehyung saw it all. The way Jungkook voice gentle only for him, the way his eyes followed Taehyung around the room, the way Jungkook froze whenever Taehyung frowned and panicked when Taehyung raised his voice even slightly. Jungkook, Taehyung said one day, arm crossed prayerfully. You are scared to everyone but me. Jungkook stiffened instantly. Am I? Taehyung stepped closer, smiling. Yes, and it's cute. The Mafia King, who ruled the underworld with blood and fire, looked away, ears red. Months passed, healing turned into comfort, comfort turned into love. On a quiet night, beneath soft lights, Jungkook knelt before Taehyung, hands shaking not from fear of enemies, but from fear of losing him. Marry me, Jungkook said simply. Be my husband, my home. Taehyung's eyes filled with tears as he laughed and cried at the same time. Yes, he whispered, I already was. And that was how the Mafia King made the only man he would ever be afraid of, his hubby. Marriage didn't change on Jungkook, it ended him. The underworld still trembled at his name. Meetings still ended with bowed heads and silent fear. Blood still stained his hands when necessary. Jungkook remained the Mafia King, cold, calculating, ruthless. Except at home. At home, Jungkook stood frozen in the kitchen as Kim Taehyung crossed his arms, eyebrow raised. John Jungkook, Taehyung said calmly. Why are there guns on the dining table? Jungkook swallowed hard. I was cleaning them. Taehyung tilted his head. On my table? I will move them right now, immediately. Jungkook scrambled like a scolded child, nearly tripping over his own feet. His most favorite subordinates, men who had killed without blinking, stood in the hallway watching in stunned silence. One of them whispered, "That's the boss?" Taehyung glanced at them once. They straightened instantly. "Yes, boss husband." They chorused. Taehyung smiled sweetly. "Dinner intent. Wash your hands." "Yes." The door slammed shut. Jungkook stared in awe. "How do you do that?" he asked softly, wrapping his arms around Taehyung's waist from behind, cheek pressed against his shoulder. Taehyung hummed, "I don't threaten, I just exist." That was true. Jungkook had faced guns, betrayal, torture, but nothing terrified him more than disappointing his husband. At night, the mafia king became something else entirely. Jungkook lay with his head on Taehyung's chest, finger caught into each shirt, breathing slow and calm. "You are safe," Taehyung whispered, running fingers through Jungkook's hair. Jungkook nodded, eyes closed. "With you, always." When nightmare came, memories of blood-soaked street and scream, Jungkook woke, shaking, breath uneven. Taehyung never panicked. He simply held him. "I'm here," Taehyung murmured against his temple. "No one can hurt you." And the man who ruled the underworld melted into his arms, trembling, obedient, trusting. The next morning, Jungkook executed a traitor without mercy. That evening, he asked Taehyung softly, "Do you want pasta or soup tonight, love?" Taehyung smiled. "Pasta." "Yes, hubby." The mafia king bowed his head and went to cook because Jungkook didn't rule his world anymore. Taehyung did. Today was supposed to be perfect. For Kim Taehyung, it was a celebration day. A whole month. A whole damn month. His husband had been away on a mission. Tae had woken up early with a smile, humming as he cooked Jungkook's favorite dishes, carefully decorating the bedroom with soft lights and fresh sheets. Everything had to be warm, safe, home. He kept checking the door. "Any minute now," Tae whispered to himself, heart fluttering. The lock finally clicked, the door opened. John Jungkook stepped inside. He looked a little disheveled, hair messy, suit wrinkled, shoulders heavy with exhaustion, but still devastatingly handsome. His eyes softened the moment they landed on Tae. Tae didn't wait a second. He rushed forward and wrapped his arms around Jungkook tightly. "Oh, my cookie, I missed you so much," Tae said, voice thick with emotion. "I cooked your favorite food, and I prepared the bed too." Jungkook smiled, the kind of smile only Tae ever got to see. "I missed you too, hubby," he murmured, snuggling closer, burying his face into Tae's neck like the world hadn't nearly swallowed him whole. Tae laughed softly and pulled him toward the dining table. "Come, sit, eat first." He served the food with shining eyes, excitement bubbling out of him as he placed each dish carefully in front of Jungkook. Jungkook smiled again. "You worked hard. For you," Tae said simply, sitting beside him. Jungkook started eating. Tae didn't touch his own plate. He just sat there, chin resting in his palm, staring at Jungkook with fond, lovesick eyes. God, he thought, he is really home. Jungkook noticed the stare and smiled. "Why are you looking at me like that?" Tae opened his mouth to tease him but stopped. Something was wrong. There was sweat on Jungkook's forehead. Too much. His breathing wasn't steady anymore. slightly uneven, shallow, like he was holding something back. Cookie? Tae's voice softened with concern. Jungkook tried to smile it off, but his hand softly moved to his abdomen. Tae's eyes followed the motion and froze. Dark red, soaking through the fabric of Jungkook's shirt, his abdomen. Taehyung, Jungkook whispered, body tensing. Tae's word tilted, his excitement shattered in an instant. The nightmare had just begun. Kim Taehyung shot up from his chair. In one swift, panic motion, he jerked Jungkook's shirt up. A small broken sound left Jungkook's lip, a whimper he tried to swallow. There it was. A stab burned at his abdomen. Not shallow, not clean, still bleeding. Taehyung's breath hitched. His eye filled instantly. Jungkook noticed and hurried to grab his hand. Hey, hubby, I'm fine. It's just a small wound. It will heal up. Taehyung snapped. He smacked Jungkook lightly on the head. Tears spilling over. Idiot. Big idiot. He scolded, voice shaking with fear and anger. How dare you hide this from me? Jungkook smiled faintly. Even like this. Sorry. Taehyung didn't listen. He pulled Jungkook up and half dragged, half carried him to the bedroom, the one Tae had decorated with roses and soft lights, meant for kisses and warmth. Tonight, Taehyung didn't even look at them. He laid Jungkook down carefully on the bed, hands trembling as he grabbed his phone. Don't move, he ordered, already calling the doctor. While waiting, Taehyung started dressing the wound himself. Fingers gentle but urgent, sniffles escaping as he worked. Jungkook watched him quietly, guilt settling deep in his chest. After the bandage was secure, Jungkook reached out and pulled Taehyung up to sit beside him. Tae tried to scold him again, tears spilling down his cheeks. You could have died, Tae whispered brokenly. Why would you hide something like this? Jungkook lifted his hand, cupping Tae's cheek softly. I just wanted to see you, hubby, he said honestly. I didn't want you to worry when I just got home. Taehyung pressed his forehead to Jungkook's, shaking. You scare me. The doorbell rang soon after. The doctor checked the wound carefully, changed the dressing, gave medicine, strict instructions, and left. Silence filled the room again. Roses lay untouched, but Taehyung stayed seated beside the bed, holding Jungkook's hand tightly, as if letting go even for a second would break him. And for the first time, the mafia king knew no enemy had ever hurt him like this. The next few weeks felt strange. Kim Taehyung didn't scold Jungkook, didn't raise his voice, didn't glare. Instead, he became too gentle. Taehyung fed Jungkook with his one hand, blew on the spoon before every bite. He helped him bath, fingers careful, eyes lowered. He changed his clothes, tucked him into bed, reminded him to take medicine, always with a soft smile, always with quiet affection. Jungkook was happy, too happy. He healed quickly under Tae's care, laughing more, clinging more, convinced the storm had passed. Until the day he was fully healed, Jungkook walked into the kitchen where Taehyung was cooking, sunlight falling softly over his forehead. Smiling, Jungkook wrapped his arm around the Tae. from behind, resting his chin on his shoulder. "Hubby," he murmured sweetly. "Nothing." Taehyung didn't lean back, didn't smile, didn't even sigh. Jungkook froze. He tightened his hold a little. "Tae, still nothing." Jungkook pulled back slowly, lips forming a pout. "Why aren't you reacting?" That's when Taehyung turned around. Eyes were calm, too calm. "I didn't say anything before," Taehyung said evenly, wiping his hands. "Because you were wounded," Jungkook swallowed. "But now," Taehyung continued, stepping closer. "Eyes sharp, you are fine," he glared. "And now you will be punished." Jungkook's eye widened. "But punished?" "No work for 1 month," Taehyung said coldly. "No kisses, no cuddles." Jungkook gasped softly. "Tae?" "And," Taehyung added, pointing toward the living room, "you will do all the house chores." The mafia king, who ruled the underworld, stood there, stunned, eyes slowly watering. "That's cruel," Jungkook whispered. Taehyung crossed his arm. "You had a stab wound from me." Jungkook lowered his head immediately. "I'm sorry." Taehyung's expression softened just a little, but he didn't take the punishment back. "Go wash the dishes," he ordered. "Yes, hubby," Jungkook mumbled, already walking away. Behind him, Taehyung watched quietly, because loving the mafia king meant one thing: someone had to keep him alive. The month was torture. John Jungkook, the fair mafia king, was reduced to a pouting, grumbling mess. He cleaned, he cooked, he folded laundry like it personally offended him, all while stealing glances at Kim Taehyung. Every time Jungkook finished his work, he would shuffle over, arms already lifting for a hug. And every time, Taehyung stepped away. "No," Tae said calmly. Jungkook's lip trembled. His eyes went shiny. "Tae, please." "Nothing." Taehyung did not melt. Days passed, then weeks. Finally, on the very last day of the punishment, Jungkook snapped. Taehyung was sitting on the couch when suddenly, thump. Jungkook dropped to the floor and clung to Taehyung's leg, like his life depended on it. "Hubby," he whined dramatically. "Please, please, please. The punishment is end, right?" Taehyung blinked. Then he giggled. Actually giggled. Jungkook looked up instantly, hope shining in his teary eyes. Taehyung bent down, grabbed Jungkook by the arms, and pulled him up into a tight hug. "Yes," Taehyung said softly. "It's over." Jungkook gasped happily and buried his face in Tae's neck. "Really?" Taehyung smiled and kissed him. Jungkook froze, then blushed hard before kissing back quickly, arms wrapping around his husband like he had never let go again. The Mafia King had faced death without fear, but this was the only punishment that ever broke him, and the only reward he ever needed.